That is a good episode of The Simpsons.
It's a good episode of The Simpsons. Yeah.
Which was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Oh no, stop jumping between subjects. We've done politics, we've done Simpsons.
And now Star Wars.
And now Star Wars.
You bring it all back around because Star Wars is nothing but politics.
I mean, the first film definitely is.
I'd say the second and third are quite political.
Yeah, not as much as the...
Not as much as
the
civil trade disputes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We just want to have a blockade around your planet. We just want to live free. And... Like, no, we're going to tax you. Tax us for what? I don't really know. What is it that you do above our planet? Nothing. Because it's not explained, really, is it?
We stare at each other. You go, huh? Why is this man on our table talking to us?
That's the thing about Phantom Menace, I don't understand.
What, the correlation between them and the Sith?
No.
What they do?
No, I don't understand what the Trade Federation is doing around Naboo. They're obviously...
Trading?
They're obviously in charge of the trading that planet is doing, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, is it a mineral? Is it, like, because people like to go there on holiday? Because, let's face it, it's a pretty nice place to go.
Looks it.
Like, what is it? It's nothing. You don't know.
Yeah.
So it's got to be good, whatever it is, because otherwise, why would you have a blockade around that planet?
Yeah.
Because the Darth Sidious wants the planet because he wants to control Queen Amidala for whatever reason. I mean, to get into power, I guess, is the end goal. But, like, what's he doing? I just don't get it. I'm sure it made sense.
Don't think too much into it.
I'm sure it made sense to George when he was doing it originally.
I'm sure it did.
But he was just surrounded by too many yes men.
Speaking of surrounded by men.
Okay.
Welcome to Trading Around.
Oh, welcome to Trading Around.
Trading Around this week.
We're not dwarfing around. What were we last week?
Drinking around.
Oh, drinking around, yes, because you were consuming lots of balls.
Yes, this week. Thanks.
Alright.
Yeah, this week I am sober, a little bit
And
tired.
I'm Ben.
Oh, I hate you so much sometimes.
Symbols. I'm wearing drum kit around wherever I go.
Yes, welcome to Faulking Around episode 3. My name is Chris, and joining with me as always is...
That's what comes up on
the pain to my ass, Ben.
Ah.
Yeah, well...
If you didn't have a pain in your ass, you'd just be sat on it all day.
I mean, I am at the moment editing these podcasts, so...
That's not my fault.
It is your fault.
Get a job.
Oh, sorry. But then we won't be able to make this top quality content for people.
I feel like you do a lot better at it if you had limited time.
Oh, okay, thank you.
But because you have so much time to do it, you're like, just get to it a bit later. I'll just watch another
No, I feel the issue with limitations on time is you.
I mean, that is a fair point.
So we'll see how we do this week, shall we, Ben?
We've only got, like, 2 things to talk about this time, haven't we?
I got a couple of trailers that I want to run through with you.
Well, yeah,
first
trailers, and then, like...
Yeah, but...
There's, like, a big bulk of a film.
There's some very interesting trailers that have come out this week. Also, I've had a little bit of news to start with.
Oh, God, we've got some news!
We got some news.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Are you getting married?
I'm not.
That makes sense, because that would be odd if you did.
It's not a lot of news. Last podcast, we talked about your favourite movie of 2018, Black Panther.
Yes.
I have news about that.
Oh, God.
It is now officially the 3rd highest grossing box office film of all time in America.
Okay, so now, is it still Avatar and Titanic, or Titanic Avatar?
Titanic's dropped now.
Oh, really?
Black Panther beat Titanic.
So what is the list?
It's Star Wars, The Force Awakens at number 1, Avatar at number 2, Black Panther at number 3, Titanic.
Wow.
So, congratulations to them on...
Congratulations on the fact that film has done insanely well.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, yeah, we discussed it last week. It's not my favourite film, but I can completely understand why people are obsessed with it. So,
sticking with Black Panther, the Steelbook artwork's been released.
Oh, yeah?
It's not that impressive, unfortunately.
I find that the Marvel stuff is real hit and miss.
Yeah, this one's definitely a miss. It's a steel-looking steelbook. It looks metallic.
Shocking.
But it's just sort of plain metallic, and then there's black watercolour art style of the Black Panther on the front, and then a headshot of it on the back.
Okay.
That's it. Not a lot.
I kind of expected it to be either The Mask, or at the very least, because I think the soundtrack album cover It's just black. Then you've got like the necklace that goes around. So it's
See, that would have been very cool.
See, I thought that's what it was going to be.
That would have been good, actually.
That's what it was. Because then on the back you could either have the mask or you could have anything really.
Well, you could have the other suit on the back, couldn't you?
You could do, yeah, because there's two, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
That would have been really good.
That would have been.
I find that...
There you go, Zavi. Hire us.
And send me my things early. I literally planned my Saturday around The Last Jedi arriving.
Early.
Because they sent me Justice League and they sent me Blade Runner. Don't get me wrong, super excited to have those films early. But the one I was really looking forward to was The Last Jedi. That I then checked my email, and lo and behold, it's due for delivery on Tuesday. So I went to Sainsbury's and bought it just to be sure, and there it was. I now have 2 copies of this film. That film has had so much of my money.
Yes, it has. So, Zavi, what Ben's really asking for is consistency.
Yes. I don't mind.
Or Star Wars being sent early.
I don't mind if it arrives on Monday. That's when it's due for release. That's fine.
Yes.
But don't tease me with early releases, and then the one that I do want to be released early isn't released early.
Well, for people watching this on YouTube, there'll be an image up of the Steelbook, so you can all see that.
There'll be an image of me not happy at the post that didn't arrive on Saturday.
I mean, yeah, we can try and do that for you if you want.
Yeah, that's no problem. What do you mean you got these cameras in my house?
Shh.
Why are you shushing me? I clearly know about them.
But you're not supposed to.
Oh, sorry.
Feign ignorance.
Broken continuity.
Yes.
Here.
And the third piece of news came out today. TJ Miller has been investigated for a potential bomb scare.
What?
So he took a train from Washington to, I want to say it was New York.
Don't say things like that, because that's what
I'm sorry. He phoned the police and told them that there was a woman on the train who was looking very shifty, looking at a suitcase, and he thought it was a bomb.
At this point, he's a concerned citizen.
He's a concerned citizen. He sounded a bit slurred on the phone. They asked him if he had a drink. He said he had 1 drink.
TJ Miller looks like the sort of person who could handle 1.
Yes. But speaking to train conductors after he got off the train, then they shut it all down to investigate. They said that he'd been drinking quite excessively on the train. He had a bit of a row with a woman in the next carriage.
Not the woman in the suitcase then, just a woman.
Well, presumably it's the same woman. But yeah, currently the FBI is investigating it very, very seriously. And if he is found guilty, he could face up to 5 years in prison.
I'm sure he'll be able to get voice work though, like he always does.
Yeah. I mean,
That's insane.
It is. But yeah, that's currently it for news. I will keep Ben up to date on TJ Miller.
I wish I had news. I didn't realise we were doing a news thing.
Sorry, stuff came up and I thought it was worth people knowing.
Okay, so man confesses to robbing a bank in order to impress Taylor Swift. It was not me.
I was going to say.
I know that's what you're about to ask.
Okay, so.
You want me to do my Luigi impression?
No, please.
Okie dokie.
Don't. Okay, so Ben.
Chris,
have you seen any trailers this week?
I have.
What have you seen?
Like last time, I've seen 1 trailer.
And what is it?
It's the Han Solo trailer.
So the one I wanted to discuss first.
Yes, that's convenient for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Are these in alphabetical order?
What, the trailers I've done? No, it's just the order I've watched them.
Okay.
I'm sorry I haven't done the cast in order to what they are in the synopsis.
I mean,
but I've got posters
only a click away, really, isn't it?
That's not in order. That's why I got the stuff from last week.
Oh.
I have got posters for you this week.
Okay, you got a poster for the Han Solo trailer?
I do. That's it. So as you can see...
What the fuck is Mario Van Peebles?
So as you can see, this is the Solo film.
Sorry, I have to get up out of my chair to actually have a look at this. Who the fuck is that? Is that Mario?
I have not a
clue. No relation to the Luigi thing I was just about to talk about.
So the image you are currently seeing, once again if you're watching on YouTube, is for the...
Prepare to go solo.
It's for a film called Solo, starring Mario Van Peebles.
Oddly enough, still directed by Ron Howard.
When I was looking for the posters, that came up. I was like, gotta use it.
Oh god.
That's the actual poster.
Okay, so he's in the Han Solo stance.
Yep.
Chewbacca's there in his resplendent 190-year-old self.
And everyone else is dotted around him. So, this is the second
trailer?
Solo trailer that we've got.
The first one was a bit mediocre.
Yeah.
was more of a teaser, even though it was like a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, it was a full-on trailer.
That didn't really let you know anything was going on in the film.
Yeah.
This one, much more coherent. There's a story.
Do you want me to tell you who's in it, or do you know at this point?
So Woody Harrelson is this kind of like character that's putting together a team.
Tobias Beckett.
Like everybody is in these films at the moment, and his team obviously consists. He wants Han Solo in it because Han Solo is obviously a really good pilot. I guess that's why. No.
Carry on. I'll pick you up on that discrepancy later on when I'm telling you my thoughts on this.
Okay, fair enough. It's got Donald Glover as Lando, which I think is a brilliant bit of casting. We finally get to hear him talk, which is good. Emilia Clarke as, I'm guessing, some just made up character who knows Han Solo from either a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
maybe.
But she seems to be the character that is like a troublesome thing for him, because in one of the trailers, might not be the second one, but the first one, she's like, "I'm the only person who knows who you really are."
Yes,
and he looks
it's the first
disturbed by the fact that she does. Alden Ehrenreich, something, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. He's good in Hail Caesar, but that's all I've seen him in.
It's not a lot else.
I'm hoping that the acting coach thing doesn't come into play.
Other people I've got listed is Paul Bettany.
Yes, Paul Bettany's in this.
Drayden Voss. I think he's the bad guy we see in this second trailer.
He's replaced somebody else who was already in that role.
Okay.
But then couldn't come back for a reshoot. So
was it?
Recast it. It's not David Prowse. It was whoever it was though. They were black.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're...
Like David Prowse?
No, but it's kind of like I don't know, the character obviously didn't require maybe the ethnicity, so they were just like, well, let's just get Paul Bettany. He's used to being covered in makeup these days.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really scarred and stuff.
He looks very scarred. When I saw the picture of it, I was like, I know who that is, but I can't figure it out.
Yeah, same. Warwick Davis is in it, because of course he is.
Fan service. You'll get C-3PO and R2-D2
I'm sure we will
turn up in it.
It's obviously directed by Ron Howard, as we've spoken about.
Which is... good. It might be good, it might not.
It might, yeah. So I was looking through like the films he's done. It's a varied career.
Rush, I quite enjoyed Rush,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'm a bit of an F1 fan, so maybe that was aimed at me, that sort of thing.
Frost Nixon was great.
Frost Nixon was amazing. Yeah, all credit to that.
Da Vinci Code was
mediocre.
Yeah. He directed Beautiful Mind,
which again, very good.
He directed How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
What, with Jim Carrey? Yeah. I did not know that. Oh, I might love him again. I really like that film.
And the last notable one I put down was Apollo 13.
Yes.
So there's lots of different genres there as well.
Genres? I really hate the way you say that.
How am I supposed to say it?
Well, you're saying genre. It's genre.
Sorry, genre.
Yeah, it's French for fuck's sake.
Is it? Then we're not using it in the right phrase, I don't think.
Genre.
Yeah, but
if it
means for fuck's sake.
It doesn't mean for fuck's sake.
Oh, what does it mean then?
It's genre.
Brilliant.
I'm too angry at this. Stop antagonising me. You have to edit this.
I know. And it's written by Lawrence Kasdan because he wrote everything Han before this, except for Return of the Jedi, so he has to do this.
So, one of the main reasons why Lawrence Kasdan is doing this is because he's been part of Star Wars for so long, and he feels, for better or for worse, that he knows the character of Han Solo inside out. He, on paper, is probably a very good person to use, but the film that we were gonna get, directed by Lord and Miller, who did Jump Street and the Lego Movie, was going to be what I can only assume was a funny film.
Space comedy.
And I don't know why we're not getting that. I mean, the rumours are that a lot of the reason why Jump Street works is because there's a lot of it is improv. They just let Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill just do some stupid things. And that was the sort of thing they were going with. And then the guy playing Han Solo doesn't do improv, so he went to the studio and said, they're making me do improv, that's not what I signed up for, so they got rid of them. Those are the rumours. I don't know how much of that is confirmed, but then Ron Howard was announced within days. And Ron Howard was slated to direct episode 1. For better or for worse, who knows. But Ron Howard has been linked to Star Wars for so long, and I think this has been on the cards for a while. Yeah. Trailer-wise, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a heist film. They're on that train, so that train looks fucking brilliant, to be fair.
Looks terrifying.
It does look terrifying. I guess for a cargo, it's probably fine. But for me, I was sold this comedy. I know Han Solo's he's not really like a comedic character.
No,
but he's funny enough.
quick-witted.
The way he interacts with the Star Wars universe, a lot of the time you just need a character that just goes, that just sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
You need a rooted character. Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to see the comedic side of Star Wars, and I'm now not getting that. And I'm overwhelmingly disappointed. Saying that, the trailer looks really good.
Yeah, after seeing it, contrary to what we said in the last episode.
And everything that I've just said is how I felt before I watched this trailer.
It looks amazing.
Again, all of that would have been in production beforehand. Right. So that's not necessarily to work in its favour.
But for me, still watching this trailer, I'm still struggling to believe that the characters are who... The actors are who... The characters?
Yeah.
It's more like... I guess the other ones I'm okay with. It's still Alden as Han Solo because it doesn't seem like the Han Solo character. It seems more like a fan-made character that's trying to be it, so it's more like a San Holo.
Yeah, okay.
That's my gripe at the moment, but it's not enough to sort of put me off going to watch it still.
I mean, the fact is, people are going to see this film regardless.
They are.
So, I mean, you'd have to put out a film, call it Star Wars, and it's just a picture of a turd for 2 hours for people to go, I'm not sure that was a good film. And don't say, isn't that what Rogue One was?
I mean, I think some Star Wars fans would still think it's the best film ever.
Well, the worst thing about Star Wars
is the fans.
Exactly.
Including us.
Including us. We are the problem just as much. If anyone's listening to this going, oh, I fucking loved Rogue One, The Last Jedi was the worst film. That's fine. That's your opinion. You're wrong. But it's fine that you think that.
So some issues I had with the trailer.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier on that he's supposed to be this brilliant pilot. He says, I'm a driver. I'm a flyer. You're not a flyer, you're a pilot. Why do you not know what your job is called?
Well, I would take that to mean that he's only done, he's not left the atmosphere.
You're still a pilot if you fly a helicopter.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, for us we are.
If when you go to America on your flight, and the pilot comes
over
and he goes...
going to America.
and he goes, this is your flyer speaking. I will be going zoom zoom real quick.
Look, that would be terrifying if that happened. But in the context, I think, of the way that he's using it, I don't think it necessarily means that he's a flyer like a pilot. I think it means he's a high-flying sort of person. He's a bit of a loose cannon.
Maybe. That's not how it comes across, because he's saying, you see him flying a ship, and he's like, I'm a flyer. It's like, that's a pilot.
The way I see flyer, though, is you can be a pilot means going from planet to planet. If you were doing local trips within the planet, barely leaving the surface.
Down to the Mos Eisley Tesco's.
Maybe that's... I mean, that's got to be the dirtiest fucking place in the world.
Maybe.
I think that by flyer, he just means that it's light aircraft. You know, what's the...
Maybe. We'll see.
What's the... You know, when in episode 4, when Luke's like, oh, that's no bigger than one Pratt. I used to blast those in my T-16.
Yes.
Maybe that's what you fly.
Maybe.
I like all the little speeder things.
But bearing in mind, at this point, he's done...
Fuck all.
No, he's done training for the Empire.
But has he?
Yeah. Because he's a reject of it.
Isn't he just monologuing at this point?
Maybe. It might be at the start and stuff.
Trying to be
I don't know. Maybe. You're not. And he asked Chewie to push it at one point instead of punch it, which was a little gripe. It's like, Chewie, push it. I was like, that's not what he says.
But then,
maybe then Chewie just turns around and punches him and he goes, all right, just punch that instead. Punch that.
Maybe that's the bit that's gonna happen.
Maybe. I hope so.
I think a lot of it is gonna be rooting the character. Maybe I get where you're coming from, but I think a part of it just could be he just says a bunch of different things, and in Star Wars we only heard a bit of it. Maybe he could say push it. Maybe Lando says punch it, and maybe he just picks it up from him.
Maybe
it could be anything like that. Probably in the same vein as what you mean. I really don't like the bit where they're flying and he says, oh, I thought we were in trouble there, but we're fine. We're all fine. And it's clearly like that bit in episode 4 where he's on the little communicator, the thing, to the guy, and he's like, oh, we had our weapons malfunction. We're all fine. We're all fine here now. How are you? That's an improv line, but you've gone back to make it look like he actually meant that he normally says, and I don't like that. But that's only because I know it's an improv line.
See, to me, when I heard it, it just sounded unnatural. But now you've explained it, it kind of makes sense, but it's still unnatural.
It's still annoying.
Yeah.
But that scene looks amazing.
It
Through
does.
that kind of storm, and then there's a fucking Star Destroyer coming in the background, and you're like, and then this is obviously going to be the bit where he's kind of like, I've outrun, not like
The
bulk
Empire.
cruisers, they're like the Carillion ships, I've
Yeah.
outrun them, and this is obviously the bit where he is outrunning them. And obviously outrunning just means fly really close to it, somehow magnet onto the side of the fucking thing, and then they don't know where he is.
Overall, good trailer. It's got us a lot more excited for it than we were.
Definitely.
So we're definitely on board for it now, I guess.
Really want to know who's doing the soundtrack.
Billy D. Williams.
On a Casio.
On a Casio and a xylophone.
And a xylophone. Because the music that you hear in the trailer, it's just the Star Wars theme, played slightly differently.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that for quite some time.
We did.
And we said we wouldn't.
I know, but it's hard to sort of not talk about Star Wars because it's such a passion.
Huge fans.
But next, I'm going to sidetrack to the next trailer, which is something that was shown when I was watching WrestleMania this past weekend. And throughout the show, they showed trailers for a WWE collaborative film with Stephen Merchant.
Oh, right.
There you go. That's got you interested, hasn't it?
It's just I understand who he is.
Called Fighting with My Family. We only got a teaser trailer. It was about 1 minute. So there's not a whole lot to sort of do on this.
What is that then?
So Fighting with My Family is a film based on the life of the WWE superstar Paige. Her real name is Soraya Knight.
She's still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in her early 20s. No, early 20s from Norwich in England. And basically her entire family is a famous wrestling family in the UK.
Okay.
Really well known.
Well, I mean, her dad is The Rock.
No. Her dad is...
Is her mum Ronda Rousey?
No. Look at you naming these people. So proud of you.
Tyler Bates.
Oh. Come on.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He's not in it anymore, but carry
Doesn't
on.
matter, he's a wrestler at some point. That chair that people get hit with.
The chair.
The chair.
The famous...
Oh god, there's bound to be more in my head. That's not bad though.
That's not bad, I'm really impressed.
There's a real old wrestlers as well.
They are. So, yeah, it's written and directed by Stephen Merchant. It's based on Paige's life as a young wrestler in the UK and her family life.
Why? Why is Stephen Merchant doing this? Is he a huge wrestling fan?
I think it's a project that him and the producer wanted to do.
Ricky Gervais and I will slap you.
Him and the producer wanted to do. The producer is The Rock.
The producer is The Rock?
Yes.
There is a film just in The Rock and Stephen Merchant writing this film.
So The Rock plays The Rock in the film. He's also producing it. It also stars...
On board, don't care, on board. The Rock is just brilliant. Until he gets arrested for, like, bomb scares. I'm on board with The Rock in everything.
So, other people in the film, Stephen Farrelly, who's also known as the WWE superstar Sheamus, plays himself in the film. You might recognise him from the second Ninja Turtles film. Nick Frost is going to be playing Paige's father figure, Ricky Knight. Nick Frost, obviously most famously known from the Cornetto trilogy with Simon Pegg.
And Spaced.
Yeah, but to the wider populace. Yeah, and Spaced, okay. Lena Headey.
And he was in Doctor Who. He played Santa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really good.
It's a really good episode.
Lena Headey plays her mother from Game of Thrones, correct?
And was she not in...
She was in 300.
No, well, she probably was. That's not what I'm thinking of. She's in something Terminator, isn't she?
Are you thinking of Emilia Clarke in Genesis?
No, I'm not, because both of them have been in Game of Thrones, and I'm pretty sure both of them have been in a Terminator thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Might have been the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, okay. Florence Pugh plays Soraya Knight Page.
Pew, 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 pew.
Not much in big terms of things. She was in a UK horror film called Malevolent. You heard of it?
Malevolent?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
You're thinking of Maleficent.
Yeah.
Jack Lowden plays her brother Zack Knight. He was...
That name sounds familiar.
He's British, again, obviously because it's British wrestling family. He played Morrissey in England Is Mine, a film that came out last year.
I'm assuming Morrissey is the artist.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And Vince Vaughn is in it.
Okay.
He plays...
The Rock.
He plays WWE legend Jake the Snake Roberts. Because he plays comedy roles.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
Can you guys go back and put that in so I know whether the wrestler before you knew?
No.
Oh shit. Now I just look like an asshole.
Well done. Yeah, Jake the Snake Roberts at this time would have been in a real bad place in his life, so it's going to be an interesting role for Vince Vaughn in his normal comedy roles.
I think Vince Vaughn's kind of branched out though, hasn't he? I mean, maybe not since, but definitely True Detective.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in that.
The teaser didn't do much, though. You see Paige and her brother, and they're having tryouts for the WWE in the UK. They bump into The Rock and they ask him for advice, which leads to him going off...
Steroids!
Goes off...
Shave your head! Be in lots of films!
Which goes off into him berating and belittling them like his character The Rock would have done back in WWE.
Okay.
Which is the advice that he's sort of willing to give them.
You're just desperate for me to watch anything wrestling, aren't you?
I am. But at the same time, it's hard to judge based on the teaser trailer. I just wanted to talk about it. It did, however, get very annoying watching the same 1-minute trailer 3 to 4 times in an 8-hour wrestling show.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably quite difficult. 8 hours of wrestling must be really hard to live through.
It was fun. A 10-year-old won a championship.
Is the championship the fact that he didn't kill himself before the end of it?
Maybe. But yeah, I'll let you know when the actual trailer comes out and keep you up to date on that. But you said you were interested. Stephen Merchant and The Rock.
Stephen Merchant and The Rock. Yeah, but that as a film works. I want to see them in the writer's room, one shot, just for an hour and a half, bashing out ideas. And eventually The Rock just bench presses Stephen Merchant.
Next film
yes.
is called...
Oh, do you not want to know whether or not I'm interested in seeing it? Isn't that how this works?
I mean, are you just going to slap me?
I mean, no, you're too far away.
Are you interested in that at the moment?
Not really.
Okay. As I said, I'll let you know when the trailer's out. So the next one is called The Meg.
Oh, do you know what? Someone sent me this trailer, but I did not watch it this morning. So
wonderful.
This is
beaten it.
This is, as Seb told me this morning.
Yeah.
Have you seen that trailer where Jason Statham beats up a shark? And I was like, no, I've not heard that. What's it called?
It's called The Meg.
Meg as in shut up, Meg.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a woman.
Yeah, but it's Meg the shark.
As in the Megalodon.
Okay.
The famous prehistoric shark that was fucking huge.
Okay.
It looks like Jaws, but with a huge ass shark.
I mean, Jaws is a big shark.
This is fucking huge.
But how
you know, like the parody films where it's just like giant shark versus your mum.
That's not a competition. Are you thinking of like what is it like?
Mega shark versus giant squid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like giant monster versus tiny human that will die. Put them up, Jaws. I'll take you.
Yeah, so it's that kind of size.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a comedy.
I mean, it sounds like it should be.
Yeah, so it stars Jason Statham as
shark.
Jonas Taylor.
Oh, Jesus.
Rainn Wilson as Jack Morris.
Ray Wilson from
Rainn.
Oh, Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson.
Oh, okay, I'm less interested. I don't know who that is.
You'd recognise him.
Oh, I guess this is the American Office.
Yes. Yeah.
Is he the one that is the weird person?
Yes. The one that's in all the memes.
Yes. Okay.
Ruby Rose as Jax Hurd. She's in Orange is the New Black, and she was also in John Wick. Yay, John Wick.
Yeah, well, as long as the actors in John Wick are getting work after it,
yeah,
it's quite difficult for
and
writers.
Bing Bing Lee.
Oh, okay.
She was in Transformers Age of Extinction. She's in a load of mythical movies as well, but don't really watch a lot of them, so Transformers was the only one I could sort of go to. But I think she plays the wife of Jason Statham in this.
Of course.
So she's playing the love interest. So what I can only imagine the story is that the shark kidnaps her, and it's just a film of Jason Statham trying to get her back.
That's just Taken.
That's every Jason Statham film.
Taken with a shark. I don't know who you are, but I don't know who particular set of skills. I know how to fish.
But I imagine that the sharks that have taken it are just the gangster sharks from Shark Tale or whatever it is.
Finding Nemo.
No, it's the Will Smith one where they're actually gangsters.
Oh, I've not seen Shark Tale.
Yeah, they're actually gangster sharks.
Oh, are they? Okay, I thought you just meant like the ones that were trying to be vegetarian or something from Finding Nemo.
But Rainn Wilson seems to be the best bit of the trailers.
Okay.
He's like we were saying with this Han Solo in the Star Wars things, the grounded character.
Yeah.
He seems to be that. At one point, he's just like, I mean, he looks like an action hero star, but he's not that smart, is he?
Fair enough.
There's a giant squid as well.
Well, of course there is. That's the poster.
There you go.
That's
big shark.
That's just a bunch of people swimming. There's boats. There's boats.
There's a couple of little boats, but it's mostly people. Yeah, just a big shark.
Okay.
Summer film.
I'm not happy about
So
this.
that is out August 10th. Are you going to see that one?
Nope. Because that is a straight to Netflix film.
I mean, it should be. It's not. But speaking of straight to Netflix,
Oh, great stuff. Now what?
this one isn't straight to Netflix, but
Then why say it? Is it
because it looks
Annihilation?
like it should be.
Oh, okay, wicked. Has it got Martin Freeman in it?
No, it doesn't. So on last week's podcast,
Yes.
we spoke about a very small film called Mad Mel. Like, if you remember that.
Yes, we did.
So in the week that we've been gone, they've made it.
Oh, fucking hell, have they?
Yeah, they have.
Who's it directed by?
It is directed by James Franco and Bruce Chung.
I know that name,
I mean, I'd be worried if you did.
but it sounds familiar.
Bruce Thierry Chung. Chung?
But there's a difference.
But you'll
You
know
do
James
what
Franco.
letters are.
Yes.
I know James Franco. He
No,
was
James Franco.
He was Harry Osborn, wasn't he?
He was Harry Osborn.
In the Spider-Man films.
Yes.
I went a bit downhill since then, though,
Yeah.
didn't it?
So I'm going to
Got
show
an
you.
indie film out later.
I'll show you the poster. There you go. That's Mad Mel.
Oh shit!
So it's a film called Future World.
Who's the main dude shouting in the middle?
That's James Franco.
Is it?
Yeah. So on the poster,
Oh,
you have James
yeah.
Franco top and centre, Lucy Liu
Lucy
top
Liu
left, and
and-
Mila Jovovich. So yeah, this film stars James Franco
Yeah.
in an unnamed role,
Okay.
which is always good.
Is he just called Future?
No,
And this is his world.
no, but
Is
it's,
he called
you know,
World and it's in the future?
it is.
Okay.
Mila Jovovich as unnamed again. So we've got two characters on the poster
Please
that
don't tell
don't
me
have a
Lucy
name.
Liu is the only person with a name, and it's very, very offensive.
Lucy Liu is named the Queen,
Oh, okay.
who has her own title card in the trailer, but doesn't appear at all in it until just after that title card, and does nothing in the scene. She just turns around.
All right, okay.
It also stars Suki Waterhouse as Ash. She looks to be the main character in it. She was in.
Not James Franco then.
No, I mean he has a prominent part, but not the main character. I don't
Okay.
think.
Well, he's directing. He can do what he wants.
Yeah. So Suki Waterhouse, she was in Absolutely Fabulous as herself, and she was in Pride,
Okay.
Prejudice, and Zombies. So you know
That film that no one watched.
exactly. Take
Well,
on.
Apparently, that film had Matt Smith in it.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
You've seen it?
No, but I remember the trailer.
Oh, I've never seen the trailer. I wanted to watch
I
it.
want to say he
because-
was Mr. Darcy.
Oh, fuck, that'd be brilliant.
And Snoop Dogg as Lovelord.
Of course.
Everyone will know Snoop Dogg in his acting roles for essentially playing himself.
He's in Futurama a lot.
Is he?
Yeah.
Ow. But he looks to be a pimp gang lord in this.
Well, that
so-
sounds like he'd suit
yeah.
that very well. Didn't Snoop Dogg turn into Snoop Lion for a while?
And Snoopzilla.
Oh, okay.
And Snoop Doggy Dog.
Has he gone back to being Snoop Dogg, or do we just refer to him as Snoop Dogg because it's easier?
I think he's Snoop Dogg again now.
Oh, okay, wicked.
So yeah, this is directed by James Franco and Bruce Thierry Chung. Franco has directed The Disaster Artist, which got good reviews. He's also directed a few other things, but is obviously more known as an actor.
Yes.
Chung.
Well, his most famous thing is the fact that he's the brother of Dave Franco, the incredible actor.
Isn't it the other way around?
No, not at all. Dave Franco is the best actor
Oh, okay.
out of the family. Probably just out of the world. Like, you know when you're
I
not,
don't like this tone you're taking,
you
Ben.
know when you're never sure which is the good Baldwin. Well, it's you're ever unsure about which is the good Franco. It's Dave.
Okay. Shut
You've
up.
not seen Jump Street, have you?
No.
He's in that.
Oh, okay.
And he's brilliant.
The other guy, Bruce Chung, directed a film called Don't Come Back from the Moon, starring James Franco.
Oh, okay. You set me up then like I was supposed to know that.
I thought you would have gone James Franco straight away.
No, 'cause it's Dave Franco.
sorry.
One. He obviously can't afford Dave Franco.
So they seem to have a good working relation, but other than that, he's directed a couple of shorts, which I think also had James Franco in them,
Brilliant.
but nothing else. Written by Jeremy Chung, his brother, and
Okay.
that's his one and only thing on IMDb. Jay Davis and Bruce Thierry Chung. Bruce and Jay have worked on a lot of the shorts together. Once again, starring James Franco. So you can see where this is all sort of coming from.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I'm not seeing this. This
Okay.
looks awful. From
Well, do you want to know what the story is?
No.
I'm going to tell you.
Oh.
So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, like Mad Max. In this world, there was once synthetics, like androids.
Okay.
Um,
Replicants.
replicants, yeah. They're called synthetics in this world.
Because you can't call them replicants.
Yeah. They're all gone except for this one that James Franco's character finds. He seems to report to Mila Jovovich's character.
Okay.
So he takes this synthetic to her, played by Suki Waterhouse.
Yeah.
She's really impressed because the synthetic can't be hacked. It's a really special one. So while they're out causing mayhem in the wastelands, like you do in Mad Mel, she ends up saving a guy while on a rampage and starts to figure out things aren't quite as it seems. I think she starts to develop personality that all synthetics do in these films. It looks like he gets taken. She goes to save him. The trailer's a bit vague. It chops a lot between these really bad title cards that look like they were made in Microsoft PowerPoint.
It sounds boring. It sounds like there is nothing new.
It looks exactly like one of these mockbuster films you get.
Yeah.
So in the same way that you had Pacific Rim came out, and at the exact same time on DVD you had the film Atlantic Rim come out. You have Paranormal Activity out in the cinema, Paranormal Entity came out on DVD. It looks like this. If they had Mad Max and they went, oh, Mad Mel.
Oh, right.
It looks terrible. This week has been a really bad week for trailers.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think what people need to remember is we don't always need films.
No.
Like, sometimes, I mean, for me, I'm happy to ride the I enjoyed that film for quite some time. I don't need a new film out every week.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this one hasn't got a release date yet, so we've got another trailer for this at some point.
I'm not going to see this.
I'm not going to see this. So, once
Thanks
again,
for bringing this up.
out of the four...
What was it, Han Solo?
Well, you're going to see Han Solo anyway, so I guess, once again, out of the three, Fighting with My Family, The Meg, or Future World.
Well, it's the only one that's got The Rock in it, so it just doesn't matter, does it? If they all had The Rock in it, I'd probably go see all of them.
Okay, so you're going to go with Fighting with My Family.
Big Rock fan.
I mean...
Which is odd, really, because I didn't like 127 Hours.
Jesus Christ.
Which also had James Franco in it.
It did.
But that was directed by Danny Boyle.
It was. It was not directed by Bruce.
Bruce. Bruce is the name of my sister's dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's also the name of the shark from Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Call back! But we can't go back. We need to go forward.
In time to 2045.
Exactly. Look at that. Oh, that was beautifully seamless.
Best segue, and then you killed it by telling everyone.
I know, but I'm just so proud of you.
Happy.
I'm so proud of you.
What, that I remembered what the year was?
No, I'm just so proud of you for that segue.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. I can be helpful.
Well, I appreciate your help when you do decide to help.
It's not going to happen very often. Don't get used to it.
Okay. So, yeah, 2045, you're obviously referencing...
The year 2045.
Yes. We watched Ready Player One that was set in 2045.
Yes, we did.
We watched this yesterday together.
Yep.
I'd already seen it once.
You had. You'd seen it in IMAX as well.
I did. It's really good. I've forgotten how good IMAX was.
I suppose it's like 7 stories tall or something stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, but the last time I went to see Avatar, and I hated it.
Well, that's just a bad film.
Yeah. So yeah, we went to go and see Ready Player One.
Yep.
This is a film starring Ty Sheridan as
Wade
/ Parzival.
Most famous, I guess, for... Well, spoiler alert, people don't want to know that, do they?
I mean, it's on IMDb.
I mean...
But yeah, spoiler alert for going into Ready Player One.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about it in depth, because this is the first time we're talking about this.
Yes, we've specifically not spoken to each other when I drove you home.
But yeah, it stars Ty Sheridan, as we just said.
Probably most famous for this film, Ready Player One.
He's also Scott Summers in the X-Men reboots.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I did know that.
But, you know, he doesn't really do a lot in them, does he?
No, James Marsden, is he? Who obviously
he's
so much in the first one.
He's no wet paint drying on a wall, is he?
I really like James Marsden.
Yeah, but
he just didn't get enough to do.
No. Olivia Cook as Samantha or Artemis. She plays Emma in Bates Motel.
Called Samantha Cook, because I was like, when it came up with like Elizabeth Cook or whatever, Olivia, whatever you said her name was, I've already forgotten. And I was like, wasn't she called that anyway?
It's good to know what swayed them on the casting decision.
We got a birthmark.
Ben Mendelsohn as Sorrento. He's pretty unknown at the moment. He's only been in Neighbours.
Yeah, I don't think he's done much, has he?
No.
He's very Australian.
Just Neighbours, A Darkest Hour, Rogue One, Dark Knight Rises.
Home and Away at one point.
It was Neighbours he was in.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
just
I
Neighbours.
checked.
Oh, okay. Which one was the one that Guy Pearce was in?
Not a clue.
He was in one of them for like
I'd like to say
episodes.
Home and Away.
I want to say Home and Away.
Lena Waithe plays Helen. She was in The Master of None, which I've not seen. But she hasn't got that big of an acting career. Writing, she has.
Genuinely looks familiar, like I may have seen her in something. She looks like she would have been in like Misfits or something.
Maybe, but maybe she was in the American version? Because there was an American version.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
TJ Miller plays I-Rock.
The ever-famous bomb scare man.
I didn't realise until I was going through this list that his name was actually I-Rock.
As in,
I rock. I'm really good.
really rock.
I rock.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, that's really cool, and it fits the sort of character.
The character is really good.
Simon Pegg is Ogden Morrow.
Yeah, Simon Pegg. So Simon Pegg plays he plays one character, but there's like innovative,
Inventors.
like sort of people. But there's like this one guy plays like the main guy, someone Holiday or Halliday.
Yeah, Mark Rylance plays Halliday.
And so I had no idea who he was.
He was in British Spies and
fits that role so well.
Yeah.
To the degree where I was like, he must have been in another film where he did this exact performance before, because this is just so well captured for this one guy. So there's him, and then there's Simon Pegg, and they're like the partners of this company, which is all about like the VR side of it.
It's making this one game.
Yeah, because it's set obviously so far in the future that it's beyond what our gaming is now anyway. Yeah, yeah, 'cause it's called the Oasis, isn't it? The Oasis, and you go into the Oasis and you can kind of do whatever you want, really.
You can do absolutely anything.
There's like gaming levels where you can do like any game you want, or you can like gamble. There's like casinos and stuff, or there's even strip clubs, as it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, it opens saying, "Oh, you can ski down the pyramids. You can go to a planet-sized casino and get married, divorced, go in there, and it looks like a sex house."
Yes, a sex house. Ugh, you and your
callbacks.
Sex house.
But yeah, a couple of honourable mentions that I wanted to throw in to Vic Chow and Cara Theobald, who voiced 2 video game characters in that, and they also voiced them in the actual video games. It's just nice to have that true crossover.
Yeah. So there was a lot of nerd there that I didn't understand because I'm not a big gamer.
But
throughout all of this film, it's touches like that make you go, they've not just gone, oh, that's what an Atari game should look like, so this is what we'll do. They've gone to people and said, what is it that makes this so good? And individually, they've pieced this thing together where every single reference is kind of lovingly made, and it works so well. This film, off the bat, is really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. I didn't go into it thinking I was going to hate it.
I was really sort of worried by it, but I really wanted you to see it because of how much I enjoyed it.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise how much I've loved this film.
I think it's sort of the same with when you're eventually going to be able to show me Jumanji.
Yes.
I think it's going to be
I really hope you enjoy Jumanji. If you don't, then we'll stop being friends.
So it's directed by Steven Spielberg.
To be fair, not a Steven Spielberg film. When it said that, like, I remember when I first saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that looks like that might be quite fun. And then it's like Steven Spielberg, and I was like, what's he doing? What's he doing this sort of film?
Yeah, it's
and he's just
really
doing
unlike anything he's done recently.
He wants then.
Yeah.
And this is such a good film. I would rank it among his best. Bearing in mind he's done a hell of a lot of good films.
Yeah.
But this is so surprisingly good. And for it to be a Spielberg film, I'm even more happy with it because it could have been anything. And it's not like it's his wheelhouse. It's not like he's really big on 90% CGI films. The character development is what he's really good at.
Yeah.
Like innovative like angles and stuff. That whole Jaws thing was insane. But like he just knocked it out of the park with this.
Yeah. Direction was amazing.
So surprised. I shouldn't be surprised that Steven Spielberg.
I think we should be
really
considering sort of the recent run of films that he's been a sort of director and executive producer on, but at the same time,
done a few kind of like random ones.
His legacy should speak for itself.
Yes, it should do. Which is kind of unfortunate because you tend to remember them only for the last few things they did, maybe before. I mean, not that he will eventually die, but he's not. But
I think it's also a big part to the writing staff. So the original book was written by Ernest Cline, who also helped write this film. So he adapted the screenplay alongside Zach Penn, who you might know, you looking at me bewildered, so you don't know the name, but you definitely know his work. So he wrote the Avengers Assemble story that Joss Whedon then adapted. He also worked on X-Men Last Stand and Inspector Gadget.
Oh, I love Inspector Gadget.
And his first film he ever wrote was The Last Action Hero.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the first script he sold.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, he seems kind of hit and miss, but he's also
is there
got
a Terminator in this?
I want to say there is.
There must be somewhere.
Who owns the rights? Is it Warner Brothers?
I couldn't tell you.
Because it's a Warner Brothers film, and you can tell that from the amount of things in it.
The amount of things they've got.
You got Looney Tunes and stuff in there. So it follows the character of Wade Watts.
Who is named Wade Watts because his dad thought it was really cool that it would be
named like
the alliteration.
That's it, alliteration.
Like Bruce Banner and like Peter Parker. So he was named like he was going to be a superhero.
Yeah. And his middle name is Owen, so it actually spells wow.
Wow. No.
Yeah.
She's great.
So he lives in a really sort of rundown area called the Stacks. So instead of having trailer parks sprawling out now, they sprawl
they
up.
go up. Yeah, it's really weird because, like, I would just imagine someone's put a caravan on top of another caravan, but there's, like, gantry, and there's, like, gaps between them, so it's been done on purpose.
Which is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like someone's gone out of their way to do this.
So it's a really sort of miserable world that everyone lives in. He talks about different riots and different shortages for, I think it's corn syrup?
Corn syrup, yeah. He mentions corn syrup, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like only America would suffer.
And bandwidth riots. But the world doesn't sound like it's in a great place. So everyone goes to the Oasis to be something that they can't be in real life.
Yeah. It's also really interesting that he doesn't go to the Oasis at his home. He goes to...
Yeah.
Because it sort of looks like he lives near a junkyard anyway. Like they live in a junkyard.
Yes.
But then he goes into, like, a car that's embedded under other cars. And he just, like, goes into this, like, big van. And that's where he goes into the Oasis. So it's because like they've got like those treadmills where like you just go anywhere and it moves
omnidirectional treadmill. I think he says.
Like that. Yeah, and then you're like suspended from the roof, aren't you?
Yeah, you have cables and stuff so you can jump around in game.
So I mean, obviously they've set this up. He looks like he's in like a poor family, but he's been able to sort all this stuff out.
Yeah, he seems to have sourced it all.
Yeah,
because there's a point where he borrows his aunt's gloves and then the aunt's boyfriend gets really mad at him.
Yes.
Because he dies in the game and loses all of their money.
Aunt's boyfriend, who is like a famous English comedian. He's in British stuff.
Okay.
I was really surprised when I saw him. I was like, oh my god, that's what's his face.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, in the Oasis, you follow his character, Parzival, best friend in the Oasis H, who he's never met.
Yeah.
And the two other friends, Daito and Sho.
Yeah, there's a big deal about the fact that you don't know anybody in the real world.
Yeah, you don't share your name.
You don't share your name because of what could happen and what eventually does happen, I guess.
Well, yeah, but that's not exactly a reason to not tell someone your name online.
I mean, maybe it's like the next generation of dick pics.
Maybe. Wasn't ready for that one.
Dick pics aren't brought up in our podcast.
I'm sorry. I'll make a conscious effort to do it going forward.
And I like it when it's natural.
Oh, okay.
Don't force it.
God. So we join them in the Oasis, and we get an introduction to a planet called Planet Doom, which has a prominent part going.
I'm assuming it's the Doom game.
I thought it was a throwback to that as well. I'm not sure.
It just looks like a molten planet where people just go and shoot each other.
Yeah, and you can earn coin. This is where you establish that you earn coin. You kill someone, you get coins from them, and you can use that to buy in-game items.
And as it turns out, if you do die, you lose everything. You don't just like come back with the armor that you died with. You've literally lost everything. You have to start again, which is why dying is like a massive big deal.
Yeah, because we see one guy who dies while on Planet Doom, cut to him in real life, and he tries to jump out the window, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. There's a massive like scene where like you see different people interacting in the Oasis, and then their reaction to like them no longer in the Oasis.
Yeah.
And this one dude is in like a business meeting or something. He just takes off his VR stuff and then just beelines for the window. And then a bunch of people stop him from actually jumping out of the window. But he was just like, that was it for him. He was just willing to go.
Mm. So on this planet, we see Freddy, we see Jason.
Yep, literally.
We see a Space Marine, which is played by the aunt's boyfriend.
Oh,
it's his in-game avatar.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's a Space Marine.
Didn't really get that, to be fair.
But the main bit at the start is the race.
Yes.
The race for the first key.
So the idea is it James Halliday?
James Halliday.
James Halliday created, with the other dude, the Oasis.
Yes.
But then he signed over like all of his rights to it.
Ogden Morris signed everything away, so Halliday became biggest shareholder, I think.
Yes. And then he
gets ill and dies,
He gets ill and dies. But as like a last minute thing, he's like, there are 3 keys, and if you collect all the keys,
you'll unlock an Easter egg.
And that gives you control of the Oasis, and you can literally do what you want with it.
And you get all of my shares in the business as well.
So like the first one is a race. You only know that the first one is a race because someone's figured it out.
Yeah, you never find out.
You don't know what the next task is until you've completed the first one. You get a clue. I didn't realise that anyone could get a key. I genuinely thought there was 3 keys, and that if like you,
I thought that going into it as well.
Somebody else can have another key, and then because I thought there'd be 3 of them then, and then all 3 of them have to do it, and then there's a fight for like between the 3 of them who would win. So there's like a supremacy sort of aspect to it. nah, fuck that. Everyone can get a key if they want.
See, I thought it was the same. There would be 3 keys. I thought they'd have 2 keys, and then the bad guys would have 1 key,
So
and then
there'd be
kidnap someone, and there'd be a
so
hostage
there'd be a bit of a
situation.
thing, which sort of happens anyway.
Yeah, but everyone can have a key. It makes
It's not a big deal.
It
but
makes sense for a video game.
It does, yeah.
In an MMO, you're never going to have one item that only one person can hold.
Unless it's an orb.
They're artifacts. That's different.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they're in this race.
Yeah.
You see the race like from the start. He can't go to the front though.
He doesn't have enough coins.
Okay.
He says he hasn't got enough coins, so he needs to go back to collect scrap from people who.
Yeah. So like, but then there is a corporation that wants the keys.
Yes.
And
IOI,
which I thought was going to be like a play on something, but I think it's just because it looks cool on the helmets.
It does look cool.
The helmet.
And there's a building,
which is like basically just Tron.
Yeah, they look Tron-esque.
They look very Tron-esque, which I'm not annoyed with because the suits in Tron look really good.
Yep.
Tron Legacy, not the original Tron.
Oh, right.
Because original Tron
that was
outfits
brilliant.
with weird frisbees was just weird. Don't get me wrong, I love that film. But
Gonna take over the world, guys.
the Tron Legacy is a much better film. So yeah, so that race is just constantly full of IOI gamers. Sorry, they're called Sixers, aren't they?
Sixers.
So basically, once one of them, like their avatar dies, you're replaced with another person who can just go straight in. I'm assuming that other person will get another avatar eventually. Like the people don't die. It's like an endless circle because they just
endless army.
It's like a war room they call it, don't they? And it's just all these people in these suits. So they're all in the race.
So he's in the DeLorean.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
The bit where there's the grid position that he's in, and the visuals are just insane because like it just throws up his inventory.
His inventory, yeah.
So like, and it just throws up in front of him, and then he just scrolls through the stuff that he wants, and he finds the car, and he like chucks something on the ground.
It's like a toy car.
Yeah.
It's a toy version.
And then it just kind of like unravels and expands. But the bits that are in a car, so it like does the engine and then
does
like the
axles
consoles.
and stuff.
And because it's CGI anyway, you don't go, well, that was bad CGI trying to look like a real car.
Yeah.
You just go, wow, that looked amazing. Like I turned to you and I was like, oh, that was really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
So he's in there.
He's in the
a female character called Optimus, because he goes to the back and he pulls up alongside Light from Akira, which is very famous manga, which I do not like, and people constantly yell at me for not liking it. Wow. Same as Fifth Element.
Yeah, but you're wrong there. So I think you must be wrong this way as well.
I mean, yeah, they're telling me that. He sort of fanboys out because he's been watching her on like Twitch and things, which is a streaming platform.
I guess you could say like if you were to like meet your favourite YouTuber or something. Yeah,
something
it's that
similar
sort of thing, isn't it? He proper fangirls.
The race starts, they all go off.
And then that's kind of like your big introduction to what this world is.
Yes.
That world just turns fucking upside down.
Yeah.
Like, they go around the city, and I think Godzilla turns up at one point.
No, got wrecking balls swinging in the street,
and
blockades popping up.
And every time like someone
T-Rex
does get like killed, I mean, the coins do appear, and you can collect the coins because he keeps opening the door to do it.
Yes,
and then he like converts it into fuel like straight away. So it's really interesting the way the world works. We're a big fan of how that world works.
Then King Kong is the big thing at the end.
King Kong is the big thing at the end, and it's
terrifying.
It's so huge.
Yeah,
and like
he's just chasing along the highway, smashing.
You see him on the building. And you're kind of like, oh, I know what's coming now. And a lot of it is, I know what's coming, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Because I know how this is kind of going to play out. But, like, you see him come down, you're like, he's just going to fuck a bunch. He's just going to smash cars. And he does. And you're like, I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
It's so good. And you think he
gets to
You can see the finish line.
Yeah.
You can see it's like a park or something, but he knows he's not going to make it. Oh no, he just crashes or something, doesn't he?
Oh no, he stops because Kong is right in front of him.
Yeah, but then she's about to go. She's about to go over, but he thinks that she's not going to make it.
He knows she's not going to make it.
She might have done. She might have gone over him.
I don't think she slowed down.
She slowed down because he got in the way.
No.
So she could have sped up. She might have still gone over Kong.
She would have gone straight into his eye.
I mean, it's. I guess she would have always lost because that's not how you win the race.
No, it's not.
As it turns out.
So he saves her.
And then she gets real pissed. But then he says that his friend H can fix her bike. So then they go into. That's how we meet H.
Yeah.
Like properly.
Yeah.
Who's got this giant ass workshop
where he's building an Iron Giant.
Which apparently is on commission from someone. But then they just use it at the end.
Yeah, they don't get that.
They don't get the iron giant.
There's lots of little ships he goes through. I can't remember the names of them at the moment.
So he opens up this little because he wants to impress her.
Yeah.
So they go back to the workshop. He wants to impress her, so he shows her H's things, not his things. So he opens up the box. There's a Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
From Galactica, as he says, and it's like that's obviously where that's from. The spaceship from Alien.
Yeah, that was there.
There is several other spaceships.
Something with Defender. I don't know what that is.
Again, so I think a lot of like 70s, 80s sci-fi shows.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything from like Blake 7 or Babylon 5.
No.
And there wasn't a TARDIS. Would have liked to have seen a TARDIS.
Would you? No.
I would have, yeah. But yeah, so like, and then she kind of sees how much of a nerd he is.
So she tests him on his knowledge of Halliday.
Of Halliday, and it's just a powering off sort of thing as them trying to figure it out. But I really liked H looks at both of them through like goggles or something and can see that his heart rate is racing because he's so excited. He's met his favourite person ever and he thinks she's gorgeous, and then her heart rate is like 4. She just does not care.
4? I think she's dead.
No, but it's like resting.
Yeah, he's like at 150, 160. Yeah. She's
like maybe
89 or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's more than one a second though.
Yeah.
1 minute. But yeah, I really like that. Like she's just closed off. Which I guess she is at that point.
Yeah. We get brought back to the real world where Wade is being called back to the trailer park.
Yes, because he's a trailer park boy.
Artemis says something to him that makes him start thinking about the clue.
There's a massive thing they can do. Like Halliday's brain or something was put into like the Oasis, and you can relive all of his memories.
Kind of. Like everything he did was also sort of monitored, and he uploaded all the information from his life.
So you can go back and watch like pretty much any scene. And there's a character called the Curator or something. The Curator,
yes.
And he's just a robot.
I thought it was based on Ask Jeeves.
I thought it was going to be as well, and I thought it was going to be someone famous voicing him, and I couldn't figure out who it was, which I guess we'll come to later.
We will.
And he'll show you anything that you want. I think he goes there because he wants to look at one of the moments again, and that's
when he realizes
how to win the race. He hasn't won the race at this point.
No.
And because he listens to him talk, and he says something like, "I wish we could go backwards really, really fast."
Yeah. And why do we have to keep going forwards? We can go backwards.
And then he just like, okay, so in order to win the race, you have to reverse it.
Yeah.
And then they go to the race. He meets her again.
Yeah.
And they power off something like that. It's like, oh, you're just gonna lose again anyway. And the lights go green. Everyone steams forward, and then he just sticks it in reverse. And then, like, a special platform comes down, and he basically just goes underneath the entire circuit.
It's great, because you see Kong really pissed off over the top.
And you see all of, like, the barriers come up.
Yeah, so everything's coming up.
As if it's a working world as well, which I really found quite interesting. Like, the mechanics of it are there.
Yeah.
And he does. He just goes all the way through, and then, like, you just pop up behind Kong, and then just go through the finish line. He just wins. And then the avatar of Halliday is like a big old wizard person with like a cloak.
Alarak, I think.
I'm assuming it's maybe supposed to be based on something. It looks.
I think it's just supposed to be a wise old wizard.
Gives him the key and then says, "Take a clue."
Yeah. And
so you can take a clue once you figured it out. Once you've got the thing, and then that leads you to what the next clue would be. Where the next key will be. He then tells H. H does it.
Who tells Daito and Sho.
And then slowly and surely everyone realises how they're supposed to win the race.
Well, Artemis saw him do it. It's only those 5. They're the only 5 who know how to do it.
I'm pretty sure other people do eventually, don't they?
I don't know anyone.
I assume that
maybe there were other.
People would see it though, wouldn't they?
Maybe there were some other people on there, but the main leaderboard was those 5.
Sorry. There's like a live leaderboard as well for who's got the keys and who's got the most amount of points based on what they're doing.
Because back in the real world, IOI are getting quite nervous that there's someone who's got a key.
Yeah, because they want all the keys because they want to have the world because I don't know, they want to shut it down or something.
No, they
want to do something stupid, don't they?
Well, at the moment, because you can do anything in there, they want to put ads and pop-ups and tiered systems.
Oh God, yeah, no, they
like modern gaming is at the moment.
They refer to something, don't they? They're like, we figure we can put up 70%,
80% adverts
before you have seizures.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, this is the level of shit we're working with.
Yeah,
I love Ben Mendelsohn, but I really don't think he necessarily fitted that role. I expected him to be more kind of like the character. I expected him to be more like viciously evil.
Yeah.
And I found him to be a little bit too business evil. Which I
yeah.
guess is kind of what they were going for, but I kind of like, you expect him at some point to just start cackling because he's got like an evil plan,
Yeah.
and that never really happens, and so
then they try and figure out the second clue.
and it's something about the leap never taken.
Yeah, it's to do with
His first date with the woman that eventually marries
the other guy. Yeah, marries his business partner.
Yeah.
They go to a club where they think that is. It turns out it's not. We get introduced to IROC,
played
by TJ Miller,
who is brilliant in this.
I think they literally just let him ad-lib it.
I think they must have done. I think that's the thing about TJ Miller is they just, because he does that in Deadpool, doesn't he? He just like lists a bunch of things that you think Deadpool looks like, and it's one of the funniest things in the film.
Yeah,
because like he's kind of quite grounded in the same things. Like, oh, how are you feeling? It's like, I got a bit of a twinge in my neck. Can you stand on my right so that I don't have to look at you? And then he does it, and he's like, no, I need you to stand on my left. And he keeps moving around. And just like stupid things like that, they just kind of like, it's just really good. Visually looks incredible. Because he's like a giant skull, effectively, isn't he?
When you see Sorrento go into the game, go talk to him, and you see it, I thought that he was going to be someone he was reporting to, like an even bigger bad.
Right, okay, yeah.
Because the design looks like a bigger bad. But no, he's
not a big fan of Sorrento's avatar. He's just a giant muscular version of himself. He's just got a suit on.
It's egotistical, isn't it? My friend that I went to go and see it with originally.
What other friends?
I'm sorry. The one I did the drinking around the one I did the drinking around the Dragon Balls with.
Oh, drinking balls.
Drinking balls. He said that it reminded him of the All-Stars Superman.
Okay.
Which is...
Do you know what? I completely get that, because it's very Clark Kent. The way it is, it's clearly Superman, but it's not. It's a Superman in a suit, isn't it? Yeah. No, actually, I quite like that. That's actually a nicer way of looking at it. Because there is a scene where What's-Her-Face tries to make Parsifal look like Clark Kent.
On the way to discovering the second one. Yeah, because he's now famous, so
and
he needs
everyone
disguise. So she puts some Clark Kent glasses on him, and it gives him a lovely little comb over. So Parsifal and Artemis go to a club. They think that's where the second key is going to be, but it's not. There's
like a giant dance floor, which is actually kind of like a 3D thing, so you can float and dance. And so they think that is the leap that he took. He never asked her to dance or something.
Yeah, it's not. They end up dancing with some really good music in it.
There is always some really good music in it. And I wish the subtitles had stayed, kind of, because I want to remember what they were. I could look at the soundtrack, I guess. But the songs are used really well for this. Like, it opens with Van Halen's Jump.
It does.
And it's just, it just works.
At the dance club, they're using the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees, yep. Because that's really good as well, like, to show off his, like, dancing skills.
Yeah,
and like
she goes into, like, a Flair's outfit, doesn't she?
Yeah, like, they create, like, the platform. Like, again, it's all done so well. And then they do the Saturday night
boogie
fever dance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's done really, really well. But then shit goes down.
Yeah, he says, I love you.
He says, I love you. And then does he not tell her his name?
He says, I want to know your name. She's like, you don't know anything about me. He's like, but I really want to get to know you. I love you. My name is Wade.
Yeah.
And IROC is there,
and he
hears that, and then uses that for his own device.
Yeah. There is a big thing in this about you don't know who I am outside of the world. Outside of the Oasis. Because going into this, I thought I knew something about it, which just turned out not to be true.
Okay.
I thought Artemis was basically just going to be an overweight woman, but I genuinely thought that was going to be a big deal.
Okay.
Because, like, we all know what Ty Sheridan looks like throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
And you've got this avatar of this potentially gorgeous woman, and like such a kick in the face it would be if she looks nothing like this.
Yeah.
But it's the attitude she has towards wanting to save the Oasis. I thought that was going to play into it.
That would have been good.
She turns out to just be quite attractive. And I'm kind of disappointed in
with
that.
With a face scar.
She's got a birthmark and it's just quite large, but it doesn't take away from the fact that she's just really attractive.
Yeah. So she's really pissed off that he said, I love you, because she's like, you don't know anything about me, you know what I want you to know. They get attacked by IOI, but they get away.
Oh no, but how do they get away?
With the
Zemeckis cube,
yes.
Which is I guess named after Robert Zemeckis, the guy who did Back to the Future.
Maybe.
Because the Rubik's Cube isn't made by anyone called Zemeckis, to my knowledge.
Unless it's from a film or something that I'm not aware of.
I'm pretty sure it's because, with the DeLorean, I want to say it's Back to the Future. But yeah, he's got when he gets the first key, he gets a bunch of money. And so he basically just wastes all of it on random art weapons. And one of them is a Rubik's Cube, which if you chuck up into the air, it solves itself and then everything stops and goes back like 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
So it must be. It must be.
It must be. If it's
back
Back
in
to the
time.
Future.
Yeah, it's back in time stuff.
Cube. Yes, it is. Well done.
Robert
Look
Smith,
at that.
yes.
Well done.
References in pop culture.
Yeah, got it.
So then that's how they escape, and that's I love that they've just got these things that do these.
Yeah.
Like the random like shit little weapons that just have that
power.
Yeah.
IROC reports back to Sorrento that he's found out the real world identity because he heard the guy say he heard Parsifal say his name, and he's cross-referenced it with what he bought.
Yes, because he knows he must be wearing like
a special outfit.
Because like although you can wear some outfits, this one is like totally immersive. The dance that they're doing, she's like rubbing herself all up around him. Yeah. It visually shows on his real life body that like where he's being touched and stuff. Clearly never been touched by a woman before.
No. Sorrento then sends a hit team after his real world family. I mean, he offers him an ultimatum, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a chat with him, and he's like,
I love pop culture.
Yeah, it's real bad. You know,
it's like a dad on a TV show. Like,
it is, yeah. Like,
hey Jim, you watching those Saturday cartoons? Boy, gee whiz.
I do love that there, Batman. It's like, oh, shut up, Dad. But he sees through it instantly, which kind of makes the whole thing pointless.
Yeah, but his thing is that he knows so much about Halliday, and he knows about IOI, and they have this whole Halliday division. So what he does on his own, they have a team for.
Yeah, which, as it turns out,
are useless.
Yes.
So, yeah, the hit squad come after is where they think he is at the stack, the caravan park, where his auntie and stuff are. So he's running back. He's trying to let them know
that they're because
they're in danger.
He calls in a drone strike, and he hears it. So then he calls boyfriend.
He tries to call Alice,
call her,
but the boyfriend picks up.
The boyfriend picks up and says, "Don't call here again." And
I never want to hear your voice again, and then die.
And then literally, like, that stack of caravans just blows up.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, oh, okay, this is probably the cackling moment, maybe.
Yeah. But then he gets kidnapped.
Yes, he does get kidnapped by a dude with a very distinctive tattoo.
Yes, which definitely won't come back to bite him in the ass.
God, if he doesn't want to buy his carrots from a market.
So he gets kidnapped. Turns out he's been kidnapped by the Resistance.
It's led by Artemis, I guess.
Yes, Artemis or Samantha. So this is the first time we see her in the real world, and she is an average.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
She hides the fact that she's got the face.
For about 2 minutes.
Yeah. And you kind of get the feeling, because she says things like, you only see what I want you to see.
Yes.
And so you think she must be hiding something. She must be scared of something. It's just nothing.
It's just the scar. This is actually the thing that I had the most issue with in this film, is the fact that he meets...
the love story.
It's how it comes about.
It's quite forced,
we've obviously just had the club where she's like, you only see what I want you to see. You're not in love with me. You're in love with the Avatar. And so it's putting across that she doesn't reciprocate these feelings. They meet in real life, and it's like she does. She loves him straight away. But also, he's just like, oh, yeah, you didn't have anything to worry about. You're really beautiful. And they're just talking as normal. It's like, your family just died. How do you feel nothing? And it doesn't get mentioned at all.
No, it really doesn't.
Until one small bit, and that's really awkward. That's my biggest gripe, is that he just shows no remorse. He's just like...
The love story bit is kind of like, I don't know why, but she's obviously had no interest in her from any male, and I can't understand why, because she's very attractive. And it's like she's so thrown off that someone might find her attractive.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because she's got the birthmark.
Maybe.
Because she's got nothing else wrong with her. She's not batshit crazy.
She has it over her eye. But then as soon as they're outside and they're talking, she's putting it behind her.
Yeah, she's literally... It's like she's gotten over it.
Yeah.
The real world parts of it are not nearly as good as the Avatar bits of it.
Which is what I was also going to get to later on, which I will do. So going back, they figure out the second puzzle, and it's to do with a film that Halliday watched on the date. And it turns out the film that they watched was The Shining.
Oh, God. This is my second favourite bit in this film.
It's my second favourite bit as well.
I think we've got the same first favourite as well.
Oh, maybe. So they go into The Shining, and it's a wonderful, wonderful recreation. I don't know if it's where they've actually gone and filmed on set, or if they've done it all CGI. And if they've done it all CGI, it looks amazing throughout.
I would argue that it's a real set, and I think they might have done like mocap, because the set is the hotel in The Shining.
Yes.
And it looks fucking dead on. If they do have the technology now where you can just drop your other characters into films, then I'm happy with that. But because it looks so real,
But everything that happens here,
everything that happens in this section
it's all H.
is just brilliant. Because H doesn't like scary films,
So has not
seen The Shining, and thus has not seen any other Stephen King.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen.
You just see
There's a little ball comes down, and then he follows it, and then the two girls are at the end.
Because I'm sure as soon as that ball came up, you were like, "Oh no!"
Oh god, because internally you know. And then he goes over it, and like the little girls are like, "Come play with us." And he's like, "Oh hey little girls, come on, let's be fine." So then they go into the lift.
Yeah.
And then he's pressing for the lift, and then everyone's like, "Oh, where did H go?" And you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be the blood," and the blood is brilliant.
H, no, stop, and just
swept away,
yeah.
And it's a lot of blood. And then runs for sanctuary in room 237.
Yep.
Of which I'm just like, oh, this is just too good. Because I thought it was just going to be a Shining thing, but it just goes so much further than that. And then the woman's in the bath, and it looks like it's just the film. It's been so long since I've seen any Stephen King film, which is odd considering why would I have watched them as a child? But it's like I've only
it would explain a lot.
Only vague memories. But it genuinely looks like they've just put the film in the film. But then obviously it shifts. And
it's the old woman.
It's the old woman that just turns, very old.
Well, into like the zombie. But then pulls out the knife and starts going mad.
And then the axe comes in.
Through the door, through the wall.
Yeah, so from the Jack Nicholson character. Kind of disappointed we didn't get a face.
Would
have loved to have seen a face. I don't know, does he...
He falls into the bathtub.
He falls into the bath, and
which then puts him into the maze.
And the snow's there, and then she's...
But then you see Jack Nicholson's sort of character's legs,
and he's running and then
forward.
Like giant axes come down.
Giant axes, you got the giant zombie lady
and she's coming, and then he like falls into one of the bushes, but then they pull him out, don't they?
Through the freezer.
Yeah.
And
then he's like, I don't know, I've not seen any of these things. I don't understand what's happening. I don't watch scary films.
And they're like, we got the key to room 237. It's like, we have no business in there. But then they piece it together, and it turns out that you need to dance with...
There's a room full of zombies dancing with each other, but there's clearly the woman is there being danced with by various zombies. They have to get to her and ask her to dance, and then that is the answer.
Yeah. So you have to dance with the woman, and then you get the key.
You have to ask her to dance.
You have to ask her to dance.
I don't think they do dance. She just says, "I've been waiting for you to say that for ages," which is clearly what he wanted to have happen, but didn't do it.
But you also get the first instance that something might be different with this wizard as well, because she says she was really beautiful, and he says, "Come on, just go along now."
Oh yeah, no, he cuts
that's
her off,
that's a weird programmed line,
and that's what made me think: is he dead or is he actually there? Because he cuts her off mid-sentence and just says, "Off you go."
So she gets the key and the clue. Everyone else subsequently gets the key and the clue. But then we get a wonderful scene of IOI. They've figured out this next bit, and they're trying to solve The Shining.
Yeah, and it's just a room full of people being murdered.
And you get the war room, and it's just everyone dying.
And, like, they go red, don't they, when they die? And it's just like a sea of like red people going, and then like new people get brought in, but they're all just kind of like, they're just being murdered by everything in there, and it's just so good.
It's great. So try to roll through this bit because it's all real world stuff, which
the real
isn't as interesting.
It's not as interesting.
They find the guy that kidnapped Wade.
Yes.
They trace him back to the resistance base. So Wade gets away. Samantha gets taken and put into what they call a loyalty center. So the loyalty centers are where people are taken to work off a accumulated debt. But she'd incurred this from her father.
But it's still an avatar. You still get made into an avatar.
Yes.
And then you have to work in the Oasis.
Yeah. So IOI have worked out, they've got the second key now somehow, and they figured out the third clue as well. And it's back on Planet Doom, and it's in a castle, and they've got all of their people lined up trying to...
Because it's a video game.
Yeah, it's an Atari.
There's several games you can play, and you don't know which one to do, but after 60 seconds, the ice just breaks.
But they've got people planting bombs as well as a precautionary measure.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's the orb.
So the orb comes back into place.
What the fuck it was.
So there's a special orb that Sorrento's acquired that puts up an impenenetrable bubble around something.
It is impenetrable. Like, it's not like if you have at it for long enough, or like you would have a counter like orb or something, you literally just have to switch it off.
And you can only switch it off from inside.
From inside.
So Wade meets up with the real life H, real life Daito, and real life Sho.
Yep.
So they go off, and they're then going to go back into the Oasis.
Yeah, they do it in the van, don't they?
They do it in the van.
Because she's got like a delivery van. That thing would stand out like a sore thumb, but apparently there's quite a lot of them.
Well, they send out drones from it. They're like drone hubs, mobile drone hubs.
Drones look pretty crap as well, I have to say.
Yeah. So they're going to go and save Samantha.
Yes.
Because when Parzival had the meeting with Sorrento, it was a digital one, and he saw his game setup.
And as an old man, he doesn't know what his password is.
So it's on
he
the
has
side.
It written down on a piece of paper.
So they hack into his center and find out where they're keeping Artemis. They help Artemis break out, but she
knows that she's better off helping them from the inside.
So she tells him to raise an army.
Yes.
And she's going to take care of that orb, because she's told them about the orb that they've got set up. So they all meet on Planet Doom. Artemis is inside the castle on Planet Doom. They're outside the barrier. So
I can't remember where that was.
He sends out a video message to everyone in the game, which apparently is something that you can do.
Yeah, which is worrying.
Yeah. Look at my dick.
It's like that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. And he basically asks everyone to come to him. They need to raise an army to beat IOI. This is the final stand if everyone is willing to fight for the right to party.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a big deal, though, because, like...
It is.
A lot of people's avatars will die.
Yes.
And that'll set you back as far as you have, like... But then, obviously, like, everyone turns up...
So, are you willing to fight for the Oasis?
Oasis, yeah.
Then everyone
and then
arrives.
Literally just like an entire
and
army.
There's everything there.
There is so much stuff.
There's Robocop, there's Battletoads, there's Street Fighter characters galore, there's Sonic in there, the Ninja Turtles are in there.
Which are then like
there's
kids,
a squad...
you see them, don't you?
Yeah,
in the real life, and it's
world,
just like a collection of like 10-year-old kids just being the Turtles, and I fucking love that.
There's a squadron of Spartans from the Halo series in there.
Yep, a lot of Halo actually, I did see those fairly often.
Artemis manages to disable the orb from the inside.
Yep, all you got to do apparently is say the magic spell that turns it on.
So she goes into Sorrento's rig and finds the instructions for it, and then finds out how to do it. She doesn't just know how to do it. But the barrier comes down.
The barrier does come down.
So everyone can now raid the castle. So, all of IOI come out as well, and you get this huge, big-ass war going on.
That features the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant just
makes its appearance here.
Yeah, and it turns out it's got laser eyes.
Yeah, just kicking over. And it has like the cyborg arm cannon.
Yeah, it's got... I mean, obviously because H has made it, she's probably made it to the way that she wanted it to be.
So Sorrento is getting pretty annoyed at this point and decides to join the fight, which gets to my favourite part of the film.
This is your favourite part. It's not my favourite part.
So
I now appreciate why this is your favourite part, though.
So Sorrento, with IOI's multi-million backing, has access to all of these different types of weapons and things, and he chooses the form of Mecha Godzilla. And my god, I never thought we would see Mecha Godzilla in a Western film. Even with the Godzilla franchise rebooted, I thought we were way off. But to see it in this is, it was...
But it gets better.
It does get better. So Mecha Godzilla's absolutely trouncing everything. It's taking down the Iron Giant pretty much.
Not putting up much of a fight at this point. Which is understandable. It's a giant metal dinosaur against a...
Metal man.
Yeah, but he's quite subdued, to be fair.
Yeah. Daito, throughout all of this, hasn't been doing anything. So Daito utters, I choose the form of Gundam. And at this point, when I saw this...
And even I, as not as a person who knows much of that side of...
I squealed.
When he said take form of Gundam, I was like, we're about to watch a Gundam fight Mecha Godzilla. Yeah. And even I'm okay with that.
This is something that Japan dreams of.
This is something Japan has nightmares about.
It's true. So he drops out, and he won an artifact beforehand that allows him to turn into a mech for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So once again, like you got with the DeLorean, you see this Gundam being made around him. And then you just get these small clips of him and Gundam fighting Mechagodzilla. Parzival's making his way through the battlefield. Artemis is making her way from the castle to meet him. They run out of weapons, so H throws them a weapon.
Okay, so this is my fought bit. Throws them a weapon. It's just kind of like, it's nothing really. You don't really know what it is until it's too late. It's Chucky.
It's the Chucky doll.
And what you get suddenly taken out of the Oasis, and it's the guy who's got that avatar who's just had it chucked at him, and he just goes, oh fuck, it's Chucky. And it's the best thing, because then Chucky proceeds to just kill everyone.
Jumps from IOI agent to IOI agent.
Stabbing them, and then you see it on the outside, and just like all of them just start going red. Oh, I love that so much.
The Gundam fight starts to end because the 2 minutes are running out.
So
It's doing more damage to the Iron Giant, but Mechagodzilla's still too powerful.
Yeah.
The final bit with the Gundam is it's on a cliff edge, it jetpacks off, and you get what Gundam fans will know as the new type sound. Gave me goosebumps. Stabs into Mechagodzilla, strikes down, it fades, Daito gets grabbed, gives Sorrento and Godzilla the middle finger, and then dies.
Yes.
Iron Giant takes over. Artemis...
Okay, so she's in the Iron Giant's hand. So the Iron Giant's kind of fighting at this point, and then and she chucks in like a bomb. Like that's when he realizes that she's in the war room because she's in the IOI outfits.
Yeah,
and he kind of like goes, "Oh shit, you're here."
She joins back with Parsifal, and they
briefly
they start to make a run for the castle.
Oh yes,
IROC is sniping at them.
Sniping them.
He blows out the bridge. The Iron Giant makes a bridge.
Yes,
which they're climbing over. They make it over, but the Iron Giant loses its grip and falls into the lava moat below.
So he keeps shooting the fingers.
He shoots the fingers,
the
so
Iron
it
Giant
loses
can only, and then falls into the lava and gives a good thumbs up just before he dies.
Yeah, a nice Terminator reference.
Terminator reference.
So Parsifal realises that she's in trouble.
Yeah, so like he knows that she's about to be caught in the real world, and so he says, "You'll forgive me for doing this," and he literally just kills her there and then.
He says, "Meet us at this location." Yeah. So they finally get to the game, though.
Yes, they do.
It's Sho and Parsifal. They're the last two to get there, and the game that they're playing is a game called Adventure. They think that this is the game that will win it. They've got past the minute mark, so they're not falling in the ice. The guy completes the game and falls through the ice. Because
it's not the winning, it's the taking part.
Yes, because Adventure is the first game to have an Easter egg in it, and it's getting that Easter egg, which will get you the key. So Sorrento comes in with IROC. They've taken Sho captive.
He's got another weapon, hasn't he, that will blow everything up.
The Cataclysm. Yeah, I didn't know this about the Cataclysm. Originally, it's going to be my big gripe with it. So, you obviously die in the game, and you can sort of just reload back in and carry on as normal. I was like, so why can't you with the Cataclysm? It kills everything, but surely you can just log back in. Why isn't everyone logging back in? I don't think it's mentioned, but you can't respawn back into the game until the servers reset.
Okay.
So, like, the servers have a timer.
Yeah.
And so, like, at midnight every day, it resets. So, the Cataclysm goes off. No one can come back in until then. So, yeah, the Cataclysm goes off, by the way.
Yeah, no, and everything.
And everything dies, except for...
Parsifal, because he, earlier in the film, bet all the coins that he had with the curator.
The curator, on a fact.
And then it turns out that he was correct. Right. And so he gives him... At the time, you just think is every coin that poor robot has.
Yeah, it's just a quarter, isn't it?
It's just a quarter that he gives him, and he's kind of like, no, I don't want it, keep it. It's like, no, fair's fair, you should have this. And he eventually does keep it, and it turns out that it is a free life token.
So that saves him.
Because he's still in the game, he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like pops up, and it just kind of like disintegrates above him. It's like free life. Yeah. And it's kind of like visually, like even when they take the helmets off and their avatars just evaporate. Yeah. It's really, really well done.
So at the moment, Parsifal is the only person in the Oasis that we know of.
And then
So he's playing the game to win. So Sorrento is pissed, so he goes on a real world rampage.
Yeah.
There's a lady working for him who's finding out where they are. She gets the shit kicked out of her by a kid.
And then she falls out of the moving lorry and somehow doesn't die.
Yeah. So he beats Quest, essentially. He gets the third key.
Yeah. So then he has all three keys.
He has all three keys.
And he's got to put them into a lock, but because the van that they're
in
keeps getting
Sorrento,
he can't actually like put the key in because he keeps moving. And then the wizard guy's like, "Do you want this or not?" And it's like,
"You want the
stop
key or not?"
Fucking about.
Yeah. And you got like people cheering him on. It's like, "How was it to put a key in?"
Oh, and as well, when someone does get that far, the whole thing gets broadcast live.
Yeah. So everyone is seeing it.
So everyone can see it.
So he gets to the Easter egg room, the big golden treasury room, and he's supposed to sign a contract. And he realises that this is also a test.
Because signing over everything he had was the worst mistake he ever made.
It's a worse mistake he made tomorrow do.
Yeah. So he's like, this isn't the
true ending.
This isn't the way that this should happen. I was like, oh, I just had to be sure.
Yeah.
And then a bright light or something. Or you go into
so the broadcast stops for everyone at this point.
So
and you go into Halliday's room.
Childhood room?
Yeah, childhood room.
So Parsifal stays as his avatar, but then all of a sudden Halliday is who he was.
Old man Halliday.
Old man Halliday.
But then his kid self is there playing the Atari.
And looks really pissed that they're in his room.
But looks exactly like a young version of him as well.
I couldn't honestly say I paid that much attention.
It was really well done. But yeah, Halliday's there, and he's sort of describing that there's an on-off switch for the Oasis to destroy everything.
Yeah. And then he nearly presses it.
Nearly presses it. He's like, don't delete everything on your first day. Just talking to him about the importance of the real world and how he only realised it when he was on his deathbed.
Yeah, and he also can't find the Easter egg.
Oh no, he's misplaced it.
He has no idea where he put it. And then it's just under the desk.
Yeah, finds it, gives it to him. At this point,
and
Sorrento's caught up.
A glowing gold Easter egg.
Yeah. Sorrento's caught up, and just as he's received the Easter egg, Sorrento's pulled open the door and pulled a gun. But then he freezes.
He sees that he's got the egg, and he's like, it's that unnecessary change of consciousness for the...
Yeah, something happens to him there.
Of the evil character that just makes him stop.
Wade's got tears rolling down his cheek. I don't know if it's something like that, like a human aspect that he sees that changes
I
him.
just assume that he's kind of like, this means so much more to this guy than it ever would mean to me in anything I can ever do. And then magically the police just turn up.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they?
Then arrest them. So he's got the egg. He's now the winner.
Yeah, and he shares it amongst the High Five.
The High Five, the other group. The shares in the business, because he's got like 70% shares in this game business. So I'll share this with the High Five. Bearing in mind, one of them is an 11-year-old child.
Yes, that 11-year-old child is going to have no sense of the real world anymore.
Yeah, no. More importantly, in the room, because he's got the egg.
Oh yeah, there's that Rush poster, isn't there?
There is a Rush poster. He's got the egg, and Halliday, the kid finishes the game and goes to leave.
Oh yeah.
And he says to him,
"Are you really dead? Or like, are you really an avatar?"
And he says, "No." "Are you really dead?" "Yes." "So what are you then?" And he just says, "Thanks for playing my game."
Yeah. And at that point, I thought the Simon Pegg character was going to be playing as him.
Oh, okay.
As an avatar. As a way of keeping him going.
No.
And that he was behind the whole thing. That's where I thought it was going to go.
My thought is that because the guy is clearly a genius to have created this entire world. And he's almost, I hate to say it, a ghost in the shell. Because that's what a ghost in the shell means in that. It's his own conscience in the game. He's found a way to do it, and that's what he's done.
He's Zola.
Yeah, similar to that. But yeah, in the real world, Ogden-Morrow's come in, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching this all along. Well done."
And then he, it's really annoying because then he does an English accent. Simon Pegg is English, and it's an awful English accent. But
it's faux pas, isn't it?
Yeah, he's revealed to be the curator.
He's
the one that gave him the extra
coin.
Life. And then he makes him sign a contract.
He makes him sign a contract.
On what is clearly a giant Kindle.
Yeah, he becomes the owner of the Oasis.
He becomes the part owner because it's shared between a few of them.
Oh,
equal shareholders.
And they decide to close the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays so he can make out with his girlfriend.
Yep.
That's really fucking ugly. Yeah, that's the film. That's our short recap.
For some reason, that's probably lasted about as long as you watching the film anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But to take away from everything, obviously, because we've just described the film anyway, but I only saw it for the first time last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I thought it was just going to be full of references and it was going to be really difficult to keep up with. The fact that it's all CGI, I thought was going to be jarring or even not very good. The CGI is incredible. I guess the actors are probably the only bad thing I take away from it.
I wasn't sure on this. If the actors are being purposely bad to sort of put across an awkwardness of the real life situation, or it is that they are still quite green. Because on the second time watching it, I was like, it kind of works. And I noticed that some of them weren't as bad as I remembered them being. But the real life stuff is still the worst bits, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you need it
I
to
think
progress.
The real life bits, I think it's the three. So it's the Ty Sheridan character, the ginger girl, and then Ben Mendelsohn. They're the three in the real world that I just don't get on with. Because the other guys, the other two, I don't know their names. Sure. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
The fact that he's an 11-year-old kid, the fact that she's a girl and quite funny. I think actor-wise, it's not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that I think they're fairly average.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because most of the film is CGI. You don't necessarily need actors, you need voice actors.
Yeah. And in terms of voice acting, it's done pretty well.
It's done very well, I would say so. So the film is not difficult to follow. Because that's what I thought it would be. I thought it would be just too much happening, but it's the way it's handled, the stuff that specifically happens along the way. It's very good. The soundtrack's great. Visually, I just can't get over how well it's done. Go see the film. I can't wait for Ready Player 2. Although if it's going to be the same characters.
Maybe not. So, as this is our first review, what would you give it?
What would I give it?
How would you
Out
rate
of 10?
it? Yeah, I guess.
8 or a 9. I really enjoyed it. I was bowled over by just how good it was. I'd say a solid 8, verging on 9, maybe if the actors were different.
Okay. I don't know. Would you say 8 and 9?
8.
I'd say an 8.
Yeah.
Really fair.
I enjoyed it.
But a Ready
really
Player
enjoyed
One
it.
out of a 1 for the Gundam Mechagodzilla fight.
Yeah, fuck, it's Chucky.
Yeah, definitely go and see it if you haven't. But if you haven't, we're sorry that you've just sat through that.
Yeah, why would you have done that?
But if you want to see visual representation for what we've just said,
You mean you might
then
as well
definitely do it.
You might as well just listen to the audiobook.
But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed.
I very much recommend it. Go see it. I genuinely think a lot of people will enjoy this.
Okay, well.
Good luck editing this one.
Yeah, thanks. So, as
Twitter.
always.
I'm going.
Thank you for listening to us. You can follow me at Hosagi on Twitter. You can follow Faulking Around Twitter itself at Faulking Around. You can follow Ben.
I'm Benjamin Falcon1. That's Faulkn and just Benjamin at the start. My name was Faulkner. Didn't put Faulkner in there, I put Falcon1. I don't know why.
That is the most consistent thing we have in a podcast, is you explaining it every time.
I have to find it every time.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be linked, won't it?
It will be. It will be linked below
Don't
or
try and
around.
spell it out.
You can find us on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Faulking-Around. We are also on iTunes.
To have a hyphen.
The hyphen's in there automatically.
Exactly. You know, if you paid that little bit more money, you've got one without a hyphen in it.
You can find us on iTunes, Faulking Around. We are also on YouTube, Faulking Around as well.
On iTunes.
I know.
This is really weird. Like, I used to go to iTunes to buy my U2 songs.
You can also email us. You can also send us emails using the email address faulkingaround@gmail.com. So any questions, suggestions, and whateveries.
Yeah, just like maybe suggestions. If you want us to do something specific, if there's a film that you think you want us to talk about for an hour, then let us know.
Future World.
Future World. Something with Dave Franco.
But yeah, until next week, I have been Chris.
And I have been not Chris.
You've been Ben. Stop it. And this is us Faulking off.
Bye.